That's not a comic book. Now that's a comic book.
Alright, hi there. Oh, whoops, sorry. There we go. Hi, I am Sid2, and welcome to my new comic review show. This is not like my last comic review show before the New 52 started up, where I was going to drive and do it, because that was a bad idea. And it's also not like my New 52 comic review show, which, as we can all remember, did not exist. Let's actually just take a minute to fondly remember the old, my old comic review show about the New 52. Okay, anyway. So yeah, this is my new comic review show. I'm just gonna do it weekly as best I can. Some weeks might be spaced out because I'm not getting a ton of books right now, but you, the viewer, can change that. If you have an ongoing book that is coming out that you want me to pick up, leave it in the comments below, and I will try my best to get a hold of it. Alright, so let's go ahead and jump right into it. This is one of the books that was requested on my announcement video. The Star Wars book. And I'll apologize now if I'm like constantly moving in and out. This is the best my autofocus can do. Yes, this is the new Disney Star Wars book. Issue number 5. It's actually a month old. I have not been reading this, but this is a pretty good issue. As far as I can tell, this takes place between the first Star Wars movie and the second, so episodes 4 and 5. And it's just kind of filling in what's going on with the Resistance there. You get some cute pre-couple stuff with Han and Leia. I'm waiting to see if they ever address Luke and Leia kissing. Maybe they've already done that. You also get Boba Fett tracking Luke down, which is interesting and addresses a small, very small plot hole in the second movie, but that's okay. And so I guess that's kind of what the idea of this book is, and all the Star Wars books, I imagine, for the time being, is to address problems or oversights with the original trilogy without having to go back and, re-edit it. Ultimately, though, this is fun. Jason Aaron, right? Yeah, Jason Aaron, he did some stuff that I like. I like Under the Hood, and by extension, Under the Red Hood, and even Red Hood and the Outlaws wasn't terrible. But yeah, this is fun. If you're a Star Wars fan, it's probably worth picking up. I kind of want to go back and read it from the first issue before I give a final judgment on it, but what I have is pretty good. I think it's clever to do the Marvel thing of having a catch-up page, but do it with the old school Star Wars text. The scrolling thing. It'd be nicer if it was like a little bit tilted 3D-wise to give it more of that direct Star Wars look, but that is a clever way to do the catch-up pages. Alright, so I'll probably be picking this up some more. I'd originally intended to be avoiding these books until a new movie came out because of my whole thing with finding out details about a movie and stuff, but given what it is, I'm actually more comfortable with it now, since it's not taking place between episodes 6 and 7, it's taking place between 4 and 5, so that's cool. The next thing, another Star Wars book, the Darth Vader book. This is also taking place between episodes 4 and 5. And this is significantly better. Who's the writer on this? Kieran Gillen. I don't know who that is. Once again, they're doing the catch-up page thing like that, so I really do enjoy that. And I don't know entirely what's going on, even after reading the catch-up page. Something about Vader and Palpatine kind of scheming against one another, which is cool. So basically in this book, Darth Vader has to fight a bunch of, kind of like robot cyborg Jedi guys who are they're Sith soldiers that are being trained in lightsaber arts and basic force powers use, which is something that we've always seen Palpatine do. Love this cover, by the way. Awesome cover. This isn't great yet. It ends super cool. I don't even know if I want to go back and read the other stuff that was going on, because the ending here is just so epic, with Darth Vader just force crushing the glass with his anger, and even making some of the scenes in the old in episode 1 in the prequels work better than they did. It almost plays better in comic book forms when you don't have to suffer through some of the acting. But I mean, just look at that panel with him crushing the glass like that, with just by accident, with his pure force rage and stuff. That's great. This is really fun. I love the first time when he finds out that that's Skywalker, and that's the premise behind all this. Is we saw in episode 5 of Vader hiring the bounty hunters to try to figure out where Han Solo was and stuff, and so that's what we're getting here. Excuse me. We're getting Vader hiring Boba Fett to figure out who blew up the Death Star, because Vader felt a presence there. And so Boba Fett's tracked down, and I guess this is spoiler for the next issue of Star Wars for me, but that's fine. Boba Fett finds out that it's Luke Skywalker, and so Vader's like, Skywalker? And he's just, it's such a good scene. Just Vader getting pissed off and Palpatine kind of lecturing to him earlier in the issue that the whole point of being Sith is to be the strongest, so it doesn't matter that I had people trying to take your spot. The whole point is for someone to try to take your spot to prove that you deserve to be taught what I'm teaching you. So yeah, this is really clever stuff. I really like this. I like it better than the other issue, as a matter of fact, than the main Star Wars book. Really cool. I'm excited to see more from this. No real complaints about this. I'm a little lost at the beginning, but I mean, 6 issues in, that's expected. Palpatine's a badass. I really like Palpatine. The Emperor's become one of my favorite characters due to the Clone Wars television show. So yeah, good book. I would recommend that one as well. I'm going to save this one for last. Wonder Woman Convergence number 2. This is alright. It's picking up from the last thing that was going on with Wonder Woman and Convergence. I haven't been keeping up with DCU stuff lately. I just got so swamped with stuff for school. I basically went to school for like a full year, spring, summer, and winter semester. Basically a full 2 years. Fall, spring, summer, fall, spring semesters, so that was just draining me out, and I didn't have much time to read comic books, so I wasn't keeping up with mainline continuity stuff, and so I don't really have that much invested in Convergence, even though I did prefer the old universe to New 52, like most people. But this is alright. Wonder Woman vs. Vampire Joker is kind of interesting. I don't know, it's fun. There's really not that much for me to say about it. It's part of an event. It's basically a tie-in book. Those usually tend to be a little weak. This isn't awful. It's kind of fun to see the Gotham villains as you know, classic Universal monsters, vampires. Catwoman's like a werecat. So that's fine. I don't know. It's not great by any stretch of the imagination. Neat idea. I guess I wish it would have been Wonder Woman characters, but I don't know the reason that she's in Gotham, to be fair, so I guess it makes sense. But yeah, I don't know if I'd pick this up at all. Like, I'll probably finish it just because it's Wonder Woman and I like Wonder Woman, but I don't know if I'm gonna pick this up beyond another issue. I'm kind of on the fence about it. 10th Doctor book. God, this has been so good. So for those that don't know, Doctor Who started releasing books with the Doctor in them. So we're getting, 10, 11, and 12 books. 9th Doctor book just started up. It would be amazing if we could get all of them. Oh, come on, that'd be so cool. But yeah, so this is the 10th Doctor book. I've been reading that because I love the 10th Doctor. I haven't been reading any of the others because 11 and 12 were kind of here and hit and miss for me, but this has been just great. We got a little subtle reference to the 9th Doctor's stuff in here too, which is cool. And then the ending, like, one thing I gotta say about this book that I've just loved so much is there's that classic Doctor Who end of two-parter episode sound effect with like the high-pitched squeal and then the credits roll and someone's about to die or some like oh shit moment just happened, and that happened here. That's the 9th Doctor. The Doctor got hit with like a de-aging ray or something, and so he turned into that. And that is awesome. That is just so much fun. So, like, I hear they're building into a 4 Doctors story. That'll be cool. I'll read it, I guess. I don't know. I really like the assistant that he has in this book. Not this issue in particular. He kind of separates from her for a little while, but her name's Gabby. She's a New Yorker. She's a Latina living in New York, and so it's kind of cool to get a Hispanic character traveling with the Doctor, and she's an artist too, so that's been really fun. Just a really good book. I've been really enjoying this. It's like the writer perfectly captures Tennant's voice. Just some of the stuff he says when he's just ranting and passing is absolutely perfect. If you're a Doctor Who fan, especially if the 10th Doctor is your Doctor like he is for me, definitely pick this up. This is so much fun. I'm probably going to end up picking up the other Doctor Who books. Like I said, I haven't been super interested in it because I didn't know how strong they would be. But if they're all written as good as this, it'll be amazing. Sorry, Doctor Book, I didn't mean to throw you down that hard. I'll come back to this. One sec, sorry. I'll talk briefly about two books that I got last week. Batman Beyond #1. I was loving what they were doing with Batman Beyond, with the book that ended at like 17 or 16 issues back in November. It was brilliant. Even though the last story arc wasn't that good, it was still touching. It was still pretty touching and pretty good. Overall, the book was genius, though. This, I have no idea what's going on in right now. Like I said earlier, I have no idea what's going on with Convergence. I didn't read Future's End at all. So I don't know what's happening right now. I do know that Tim Drake is future Batman, which I'm fine with. They explained that Terry died and gave him the suit. And Alfred's taking the place of future Bruce Wayne, which is fine. There has been a lot to put the Batman Beyond universe in mainline canon, and so this is interesting to see. But right now, I don't know what's happening at all, because I haven't been keeping up with mainline canon. So, it's still well written though, so I'm excited to see what it becomes once it gets away from the event stuff. Once it just gets, a good one-shot story or like starts introducing new villains or stuff, that I'm excited for. As it is now, it's just kind of okay. I'm just too lost to know what's going on. So 3 years into having her own book in the New 52, Wonder Woman gets an annual. Why not? No, but this is actually really good. I know a lot of people got, Wonder Woman has had the most difficult relationship with her fan base lately. Because a lot of people got really pissed off about what was done with her by Brian Azzarello and the change of the origin and stuff. And I may do a video just on Azzarello's run at one point. And then David Finch was doing an interview and he said that he doesn't want to write Wonder Woman like a feminist, no, what did he say? He said something to the effect of, we're writing her as a strong female character. I don't want to say feminist, but, strong. And, that just pissed off a lot of people, too. To be fair, I think David Finch is a guy with a lot of really good ideas. He just has a hard time articulating them, both in written form and, obviously, verbally. Because what's being done with Wonder Woman since he picked up the book is great. Because while I have some issues with this, I do really like what the Finch couple is doing with Wonder Woman, because I believe David Finch is helping his wife to plot this book, and she's doing the lion's share of the writing itself, though. So let me just talk about what he's been doing with Wonder Woman lately. So in Azzarello's run, Wonder Woman becomes the god of war, or goddess of war, I guess, and that's a major thing, but there's just so much happening so quickly that there's no time for her to really process and deal with that. But also in that run, when we did see Ares, it didn't matter where he went. Death and war and destruction just followed him. You see him one day, he's having a drink in a little roadside cafe, and then like a truck bomb just explodes as he gets up to leave. And it's not like he did it, it's just that's the reality of being war. And so Diana, in becoming the God of War in that book, has to now deal with that. And she really, like I said, there was no time for it in the Azzarello book because, you know, you had all this stuff going on with the Firstborn, who, very clever idea for a villain, by the way. But now she's, in Finch's run, she's actually having to come to terms with that. All these creatures that are like a nature of war, all these mystical creatures are showing up on Themyscira, and they're like just slaughtering Amazons, and she's having to deal with that, and she's just attacks Swamp Thing head on, not even thinking about it, not even giving him a chance, and like, you know, Aquaman is with her when she does that, and he's like, that's so out of character for you. And so it's not like she's being written as this, you know, bloodthirsty God of War, it's just that who she is now, becoming this title is now truly affecting her, and so she has to try even harder to be this iconic Wonder Woman, and that's just such an interesting premise and stuff. And what Finch did with the Amazons, what Azzarello did with the Amazons, and what Finch is continuing to do. Basically, Azzarello made it so that the Amazons were very much more Greek. And like I said, I think I'll have to eventually do an episode on just Azzarello's run. But the Amazons are very much more Greek, both in the literal sense and in the mythical sense. And so Finch is reacting to that because what Azzarello did was keep Wonder Woman believing all the same things she did about her people until confronted with the reality of it. What Finch is doing is having her react to the reality of it, and in this book, you know, the sisters slaughter their brothers and stuff. That it's a carryover from Azzarello again. The sisters slaughter their brothers, and led by Donna Troy, who has just been created, which brilliant fucking origin for Donna Troy. Donna Troy is the actual child of clay and on the island of Themyscira. But so what Wonder Woman's having to do is react to the reality that her people are not these idealized, perfect society that she's always thought of them as, and now she has to deal with the implications of that, and she's trying to force them, or not force them, but trying to drag them into the modern age, to be honest with themselves and recognize that they're no better than the man's world that they left behind thousands of years ago. So she's dragging them into the present and saying, you know, look at what you've done, look at yourselves. This is not who we were meant to be, and so she's forcing them to become who she always idealized them as. So that's really brilliant. I've really enjoyed this. This has been such a good book. So the thing I don't like about it though is having the sorry. Just 1 second, sorry. Alright. I'll explain later. The thing I don't like is having Donna Troy and the Amazons kill all the male Amazons is, I wonder... No, I don't think that's a contradiction. Having the Amazons kill all the male Amazons, it's a little bit, in a certain light, back to status quo of continuity. But at the same time, he's actually using that to bridge into making the Amazons from these, you know, barbaric, ancient Greek mythical kind of peoples into the perfect people that Diana saw them as. And that's what's interesting about it, and that's why I'm okay with it. And like I said, what they did with Donna Troy in this, making her like born to be Wonder Woman, that of legend as opposed to the one we actually have, is genius, and her being just like completely devoted to this you know, antiquated Amazonian notion is great. So I've really been enjoying the David Finch book here. So the last time I talked about a Scott Snyder Batman book that didn't end too well for me, Um, it was one of the most embarrassing experiences of my life. So I'm trying to be tactful and explain what I'm not liking in a respectful manner here. Once again, it's feeling way too familiar. Everything that's going on in this issue feels like some of the early stuff with Batman Inc., particularly Batwing, the introduction of Batwing as a character. It's a good Gordon, though. I like the way Gordon's being written. But yeah, just, it's one of those things with all of Scott Snyder's stuff, it just feels so much like some other stuff that's just come out. Or it feels way too close to something that's way too iconic. I don't know what else to really say. It still feels very similar, because you have this corporate entity working with the Batman, and to be fair, it's not Bruce Wayne, it's Jim Gordon. You have a corporate entity working with Batman and trying to sell him to the public in a friendlier light, and just make him feel more appropriate for the society of Gotham as it gets further away from the corrupt and dangerous city that it once was. So that it just feels so similar that really bothers me. So yeah, that's what I have to say about this book. Capullo's art is good. There's that. I don't know. I'm wondering. Like, this thought has crossed my mind, and I thought about bringing it up in the last video, but I was just in such visceral rant mode that I neglected to. But, like, maybe what Snyder is trying to do is create kind of like an ultimate Batman. Like, a Batman that is consistently written, but that can do all these amazing things and have all these feats, if you will, from all these famous Batman stories that admittedly probably don't line up that well. But if that's the case, then I feel like his version of Batman is way too Scott Snyder's Batman feels like a Batman who is constantly stuck in year one. And while I can enjoy a Batman that has to struggle through things, I don't enjoy a Batman that seems to constantly be making mistakes until he finds something that works. There are other characters who you can do that with. Hal Jordan is very much that character, he never really figures anything out. He just kind of makes it up as he goes until he finds something that works. And while that works for early career Batman, when you start getting further and further into his career, especially when you have him doing all these, like, Bat God level stuff, it gets really difficult to continue to read him that way and have it work. It starts to feel more like a different character than Batman. And so if Snyder is trying to do this ultimate Batman thing, then, you know, he needs to be more ultimate and more classic Batman in the sense of just knowing the solution before anyone else, of being the smartest guy in the room and not feeling the need to tell anybody because everyone already knows. And I don't feel like that's just personal opinion. I feel like that's a lot about who Batman is as a character. He's this just complete introvert who doesn't feel the need to talk. He just acts. As soon as a solution is in his head, he performs it, and he's always 200,000 steps ahead of everyone else. And I just don't feel like that's this Batman. And so to sell an Ultimate Batman, I feel it kind of needs to be that too. Okay then. I said leave trades. Single issues or trades, feel free to recommend either. I got a couple of suggestions for trades. I wasn't able to find all of them. One I did find was Before Watchmen, the Rorschach. I was only able to find it coupled with the Comedian. So I'll be doing that next week. I haven't had a chance to read it, but I'll be talking about this hopefully next week or maybe the week after. I'll probably try to do one trade talk a week. Matter of fact, don't expect this too soon because of something else that I'm working my way through now. But I'll try to talk about one trade or proper graphic novel every week or so if possible. So yeah, this is probably the first thing on my list since it was requested, or the second thing on my list since I'm already reading through something else. Since this was requested, I'll try to get to this by next week, hopefully, or the week after. This is high up on my list, though, I promise. Because I heard that it's not as bad as everyone expected it to be. Steve Baxey, who you can buy if you call the number below. I'm not taking the time to put a number in. Steve recommended getting Superman Earth 1 Volume 2 and 3. 3 was only in hardcover, so maybe eventually. Steve really likes this book, and I enjoyed Superman Earth 1, so I'll definitely be checking this out as I go. This is thin enough that I might be able to fit it in with the Before Watchmen book as well, or maybe with my video next week, we'll see. I did enjoy Earth 1 Volume 1, so maybe I'll get to this sometime soon, but since Steve recommended it, I figured why not. Something I've been curious about, especially since I've been in such a new Gods mood, is the Godhead story arc, and this kind of annoyed me because I almost skipped over it, but I recognize that it says the life equation. So Green Lantern recently did a big event between all the Green Lantern books with the new gods, and I was like, okay, that sounds interesting. And I read a couple issues of it with New Guardians, which was a brilliant book, and I enjoyed enough of what they were doing there to motivate me to pick this up. So yeah, Green Lantern, the life equation, is also on my list for future videos, so look forward to that. So's this. This has been on my list for a damn long time. Superman, Whatever Happened to the Man of Tomorrow. It's just been one of those famous comic books that I've just never gotten around to, so I plan to read this sometime soon. Though I'm not going to put that on a schedule, obviously. This I got in the mail, and I think it's cool. I've been on a bit of a Zorro kick lately, so I figured why not pick up some Zorro stuff, and I found this on my work's website and had it delivered to me. So yeah, these are comic strips from a Zorro newspaper comic or whatever that was running, I guess, in the 90s, early 90s maybe? Oh, late 90s, early 2000s. So yeah, I'll check this out. It should be cool. I'm excited for it. Probably read through that in one sitting because they're just comic strips, not a proper book, but that'll be fun. Ugh. Now this was a comic book. I'm reading through Sandman again. I have the first two Absolute editions. I've had those for a while now. And I bought all the individual trades that take place after Volume 2 of the Absolute edition. So I'll be reading through Sandman, and this will be the first trade I talk about since we're already half done with it as is. But yeah, I'm excited to talk about all this stuff. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video, and I'm excited to continue more weekly comic reviews. Like I say, any trades that you want me to pick up, I did see a comment about the some Godzilla books. I'm keeping an eye out for them. I'll see what pops up. But yeah, I'll keep an eye out for those. Just they weren't at either of my two nearby comic shops. I'll go check the other 2 that are in town. Yes, Fort Wayne has 4 comic shops. Be jealous. But yeah, so I'll be picking up any single issues you guys recommend or trades. Probably after today buying 4 trades, probably just gonna do 1 trade a week, like I was saying. It gets expansive. So please, single issues priority. Stuff that you think I should add to my pull list. I'm adding Darth Vader. I might pick up the next issue of Star Wars, see if I like it a little bit more than I did, because right now I'm kind of on the fence about it. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed.